Hey guys, so I've got you out here with me in my backyard. I'm doing some watering because like everyone else, I started trying to garden during this time when there's nothing else to do. I'm pretty excited. I grew some zinnias inspired by another friend's garden so that I can create really awesome bouquets. However, those zinnias are the opposite of what I want to ask you guys about, which is the creepiness, if we want to say that, of Lady Audley's secret. And by that I mean we've been dealing mostly with realist novels to this point, or apocalyptic novels, if we want to talk about The Last Man. The realist novel is sort of considered the most popular form in the 19th century and the Victorian period, but actually that might not be true. The most popular form might be sensation novels, which Lady Audley is a prime example of. If you've heard of Wilkie Collins, that would be another really famous author. Woman in White is a novel that he wrote. So I want to think about this form of the sensation novel and what difference it's making. If you think about just the very beginning of the novel, what do we begin with? The chapter is called Lucy, but we actually begin with a description of the house. And I'll give you a few examples because it may have been a while since you read the beginning of the novel. This is the very first paragraph. It lay low down in a hollow, rich with fine old timber and luxuriant pastures, and you came upon it through an avenue of limes, bordered on either side by meadow, over the high hedges of which the cattle looked inquisitively at you as you passed. At the end of this avenue there was an old arch and a clock tower with a stupid, bewildering clock, which had only one hand and which jumped straight from one hour to the next, and was therefore always in extremes. Through this arch you walk straight into the gardens of Audley Court. And then quite a few paragraphs later, we get something like this. The broad outer moat was dry and grass-grown, and the laden trees of the orchard hung over it with gnarled, straggling branches that drew fantastical patterns upon the green slope. Within this moat there was, as I have said, the fish pond, a sheet of water that extended the whole length of the garden, and bordering which there was an avenue called the Lime Tree Walk, an avenue so shaded from the sun and sky, so screened from observation by the thick shelter of the overarching trees, that it seemed a chosen place for secret meetings or stolen interviews. In an earlier paragraph, it talked about secret chambers in the house. So the sort of question here is, what are we being set up to think about with the sensation moments in this novel? So what I want you to do is to just pick one moment in the novel that you've read so far that you would identify as a sensational moment, and then think about its effect. Why do we need that particular moment? You might think about its immediate effect, and by that I mean what's happening right then in the novel, but also its larger effect. What does it add to the novel as a whole? Why do we need that sensational moment? Why can't this be a realist novel? And if you're wondering what I mean by sensation novel or what are sensational elements, there's a handout in the module that you can take a look at.